Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer. So today we're using a different camera setup than normal, so you guys let me know if it sounds and looks alright. Normally I'm using my phone when I'm shooting from this angle. If you guys saw my last ballistic skull video, I actually shot my GoPro Hero 9 in the back with an intrabuster accidentally. And it looked like it got in a fight with Chuck Norris. It did not survive. So luckily I had the insurance on it, and they upgraded me to a Hero 11, so that's what we're shooting on today, so just to check that out. So this is Equinox. This is a VKS shorty that I did. I'm getting ready to do another last video with it and ship it out. But I just put it on the table for eye candy because, well, you know, it's one of my last chances to show it off on the channel, so and I like it. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the Grimburg Kinetic Irritant projectiles. Now, I've talked about these before, and lately I have been recommending these to quite a few people in emails, messages, and posts. People have been asking me, well, what's something you can shoot through something that's powerful, that's not going to bust in the barrel, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, this is what I suggest. These are engineered for two things. Number one, to have kinetic knockdown power because they have weight to them. And number two, to withstand higher joule launchers. All right. So they were originally designed for like the gavel, which is, you know, 37-40 joules. Mine was hitting 42 at one point, I believe. But that's, you know, the area where they're really going to shine. So these are made by Duke for Grimburg. And if you guys have heard me talk much about chemical stuff, my favorite chemical rounds are made by Duke. So yeah, so it just stands to reason I would love these as well. Now, the reason I like Duke and these is because the shell on them is just made considerably better than the shell on, say, a Byrna or a Pepperball brand. Now, first of all, just full disclosure, I am not some pepper guru by any means. Both of my tags on my vehicles say Kinetic. I'm definitely more into Kinetic rounds. I know more about Kinetic rounds than I do about pepper rounds. So when I say the best I've tried or the worst I've tried and all that stuff, just bear in mind that, you know, I'm not somebody that's tested every pepper round out there by any means. But these are pretty notorious for breaking in the mags. And these are also pretty notorious for breaking quite easily. Sometimes you'll get them and you'll see fractures in them already and everything. So, so not a fan of either one of those brands. Now, something you've also got to look at with the burner rounds, the burner rounds won't even fit in a VKS factory barrel. So you better, if you're going to use Byrna pepper in anything other than a Byrna, then you better be checking it before you shoot it, because I'm going to tell you that's going to be a bad day. A bad day. So anyway, so what makes these special? Why do I think this is one of the best rounds, period, that you can buy on the market? Well, number one, as I've said for years, you have to have mass to carry energy. All right? So, and that's just physics. People can argue with that all they want to, but they're arguing with just physics that most people learn in high school. So if you weigh a Pepperball brand, 3.29 grams, okay? You weigh a Byrna, 3.0 grams, okay? You weigh one of these, 6.18. So you're looking at double the mass. So double the mass means you're carrying a lot more energy. You got a lot more knockdown power. So you shoot these into a pan, and you shoot this into a pan, or there's even a video where I've shot this into a burn barrel, a thick burn barrel with a patrol carbine, and leaves dents. These don't leave much dents because they're so light and the shells are so flimsy. They break apart so easily, and you're not carrying weight to start with. So you don't get that kinetic impact. So the only thing that happens with these is it disperses chemicals. Well, I mean, if you can buy a ball that not only disperses chemicals, but also does kinetic damage, and also you can shoot it in a higher powered launcher than you can either of these, then that's a freaking win, period. Now, if you're in law enforcement, here's one thing that's really cool. you can have a mag full of these, and if you have to, you know, do something to somebody in a motor vehicle, you can actually break the glass, or in a house, whatever, you can actually break the glass with the same ammo that you use to disperse the chemicals. You don't have to change to a glass breaker round. You've got this right here. Boom. You can't beat that. All right. So when it comes to accuracy, all right, now I'm going to refer you back again to the ballistic skull video, the last ballistic skull video I did, where we were shooting 2.9 grams, which is pretty much the same as these. The accuracy, when you're shooting it from a high-powered launcher, the accuracy is ridiculous. These things will curve all over the place. They don't have enough weight to be stable in anything with any power. These do, all right? Now, another thing. This is, you know, for all you bore match fanatics out there. Let's grab a barrel. All right, so here's a VKS Pro factory barrel, okay? So pepper ball, all right. I don't know if I can get you guys to see it. There's a lot of space in there. So let's look at this. Going the wrong way. So these are a 680. All right, 680. Okay. .684. All right, so 2 sizes bigger. So if you're shooting these through, you know, a factory barrel or a 686 barrel or whatever, you're going to get a ridiculous better bore match, right? So can you shoot it through a factory VKS barrel? Does it fit well? Check this out. Yeah, it fits perfect. So excellent in a... Alright, so the GoPro actually cut off on me because it was overheated, but I'm not going to count it out yet because I was playing with it quite a bit before I actually started the video. But anyway, I did use the time that I was letting it cool off a little bit to go check the video that I did with the Patrol carbine and this ammo, and we were pushing 60 joules in that test, and that was multiple shots into a bum heater, aka burn barrel. And if you've ever messed with one, you know that's some thick metal. That's not a cookie pan or a cookie sheet or a pie pan or whatever. There's some thick metal, and it did some nice damage to it. Way more. Well, you're not even going to see damage from something like this on a bum heater, no matter how much power you're shooting through it. And if you're shooting this through something that's 60 joules, you're probably just going to blow it up in your face in the barrel. So why is all this important? All right. So you've got a modified HDX, you've got a modified HDB. You can't turn those down. And even this, or a TCR that you've turned up, or a M17. M17, you know, if you're using a like a Home Defense 24 ASA, you can't adjust it anymore. But even the stuff that you can adjust, it takes time. You're sticking in an Allen key, turning it, pulling it out, sticking it in, turning it. Not something you can do fast, right? So if you've got a launcher that is, you know, 35 to 60 joules, and I think it could even handle maybe even a little more, because not a single one of those broke. Honestly, I think it could probably handle 65, maybe even 70, maybe. I'm just guessing, but I know for a fact 60 is not a problem whatsoever. So you got a launcher, and that a lot of the stuff I just named is going to fall into that category. You've got a launcher that is that power level. Well, you need to, let's say, for example, and if you guys haven't watched, I've got a video where I actually shot at a black bear with the TCR with chemical projectiles, and they were extremely effective. Animals have a higher sense of smell, so chemicals actually will affect them even more than a human. And quite frankly, if you've got a 50, 60 joule marker and you shoot a bear with it, well, it's just going to tick it off. But you could shoot a chemical round, a couple of feet in front of it, and the thing's going to freaking take off, right, and never come back. Mine's never come back, but anyway. So you have something like that, and you need to switch it up to a chemical. Well, you can't cut it down, or it takes you forever to cut it down. To get it to a level where it can shoot something like this without breaking it on the inside. Not to mention the fact of you can just leave these in something, leave it at the same power level. You've got the best of both worlds. If you're shooting at a person, you're going to have that kinetic damage. You're going to have the chemical irritant. You need to shoot it at an animal. You've got the chemical part of it. I would suggest that an animal, because they're furry and soft, to shoot in the ground right in front of them. That's all you really need to do, just to get enough of that chemical in the air, and they're going to take off, just like with bear mace or whatever. So just a ton of advantages to this ammo. I honestly, I stand behind that. I think this is the most versatile ammo in Less Lethal. So I just wanted to say that. We're going to do some testing with it. I'm hoping to shoot Ballistic Joel with some whenever we get the chance. And we'll do some more stuff or whatever. But, you know, it's a better bore match than the other pepper on the market for most barrels. If it's not a better bore match, then it works when it won't, because the Byrna stuff is big, but it's too big for most stuff. This stuff is small. So anyway, so this is about the perfect size, especially, I mean, it shoots through a VKS factory barrel. You can't get much better than that. So anyway, you're dealing damage, you're dealing, you know, chemical irritants, you've got a good bore match. And the big thing too, nothing hurts anything if you can't hit it with it. And when you're dealing with something that is only 3 grams, if you're shooting at something, or shooting it out of something that's 50 joules, you do not get accuracy with something that's light. It is not stable going through the air. This is. So all the way around. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some testing.